warm welcome to your monthly dose of revolution. And this is the home base for practical idealists and people who really want insights that can help you to change the world. And as far as I know, this is also the only webcast where the activists systematically meet academics and practitioners. So a very warm welcome to the next edition of Business for Humanity, Reinventing Capitalism. And with that, as always, I would suggest we check in with each other. So please use the chats and let everybody else know where you're coming from and what brings you here today. So I would suggest the usual routine with a 4-word check-in. If you can come up with 4 words, where you're coming from, what is your main role, or what is the role you want to take up in this call, and what has intrigued you about this particular session? What are you looking forward to today? And whilst people on the call are checking in, let it rock on the chat. I have the great pleasure to introduce our guest of honor today, Christian Felber, and the visionary Austrian author, and he has been called a dancing economist, perhaps best known for his activism and political efforts. He co-founded organizations like ATTAC Austria in 2000 and the Movement Foundation Austria in 2009, which of course supported initiatives like the Democratic Bank and the Economy for the Common Good, about which we're going to talk today. Christian also enjoyed a very distinguished academic career, teaching at renowned universities like the University of Vienna, Economics and Business, the University of Graz, the University of Applied Arts in Vienna, and he is a senior fellow of the Institute for Advanced Sustainability Studies, I think in Potsdam. And Christian is a prolific author with 15 books plus to his name, translated into many international languages, including This Is Not Economy and The Economy for the Common Good of 2014. And of course, his efforts in promoting a more ethical discourse and alternative economic models have earned him numerous awards. And I'm just going to name the top 100 changemaker business recognition by The Big Issue. And of course, today we are all most interested in the ECG, which Christian founded in 2010, and which boasts by now over 4,400 members, making it really a truly impressive and driving force for positive change on a global scale. And with that, Christian, may I say a very warm welcome and thank you so much for making time today.
Hi, Otti. Yes, you may. Thanks a lot for inviting me.
Thank you very much. It's great to have you here. And I also want to salute my fellow travelers as usual on this call. And as we said last time, in different roles. So a warm hello to my friend and colleague, Antoinette, the researcher, Kees from the Netherlands, the activist, Silvio, the voice of the future leaders and the future students, and of course, all of you, the valiant explorers with us on this quest to reinvent capitalism. And why are we all here? As we said, we want to create something quite unique. We want to look at all the different alternatives for capitalism that are out there, and we want to do so in a critical and educational way, but also drive actions, inspire people, and try to make it credible, because we still believe that in many instances, as we heard from Kees in the launch series, heterodox economists and economic models are being ignored by many of the leadership development programs and the business schools of this world. So hopefully we can contribute a little bit to changing that. And here I want to extend a very warm welcome also to the economics classes that are watching this live now on big monitors in Kees's University home base. So thank you all for joining us, and we really hope that this is going to be a very exciting edition. And the last thing that I want to quickly mention before we give the word to Christian to introduce the ECG is how is this call going to run today? You will remember from the last time that these sessions have 3 different parts, and we really would love you all to stay throughout the 3 parts. So please don't drop off when we go into breaks, the brainstorming breaks. But the first part is for us to listen to Christian and reflect on what Christian's experiences are, what his theories are. So we're basically stepping in the role of students, or critical students, if you want. Then we will go into a half-hour practitioners forum, 15 minutes breakouts, just to make sense of what we've heard, and 15 minutes reflection in the plenary. And I'm very grateful that Christian has agreed to stay on. And so we will also have Christian in the plenary sense making coming out of the breakout groups. And the final 30 minutes is the very, very first edition of our transformation laboratory, where we will try to create a meta inquiry, which means we will try to kind of situate ECG and Christian's experiences in an even wider framework of all the different discourses that we could imagine for changing capitalism. And I think that's going to be exciting, and let's see what comes out. As usual, though, we need to warm up. And I think, Antoinette, are you ready for the warm-up exercises?
Definitely.
Let's go. As you know from the last time, we will always throw in a few concepts that might become very handy in kind of questioning and analyzing what we're hearing. So the first 60-second question to our live audience is, what is democracy? Please put on the chat what you think the 5 characteristics or any of the top 5 characteristics are of democracy. Sounds very simple. So please, what is a democracy in your mind? Fairness, Tiffany? Yeah, interesting. Let's see what comes up on the chat. And then Antoinette, as always, as the researcher, will give us the answer. Freedom of speech, even balanced influence. Very good. Let's see what people think. Participation. Yeah, Charity. Division of power and institute. Very good, very good. So Montesquieu is coming. Majority decisions, power to the people, free elections, civilization, checks and balances. Wonderful. Keep it going. And Antoinette, do you want to give us the answer?
Yeah, you're much better than the researchers, because they say we agree to disagree. And the smallest common denominator is what Abraham Lincoln said: democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So clearly popular sovereignty. But if we look up democracy indexes, and then they have to measure, then we also find equality, civil liberties, and plurality. By the way, what is the most democratic country in the world? Norway. So buggers, it's not Switzerland, Otti. And more importantly, though, democracy is in steady decline. So that's one thing I also want to give on the wall.
Democracy in steady decline. I think that's going to be a theme that Christian is going to pick up. And I have only got a second warm up and then over to Case to introduce Christian. What is the common good? We're going to talk about the economy of the common good. So I think one of the critical questions, and of course, we're going to wait for Christian for an authoritative answer, but what do you think the common good is? So again, 60 seconds, people on the chat. What is the common good? Accepting decisions you don't like. Very interesting sometimes. Well-being of humans, animals, and plants. I think that might already go into the direction. Honoring the sacredness of life. Interesting. For the benefit of the majority. So going back to the democracy theme. Very interesting. All that is goods with externalities. Keep it going. And I will give the word again to our researcher, Antoinette, to provide an answer.
Yeah, Thomas, it's not public goods, but it's still very difficult. So it's what in most of our constitutions is in there, what we find in common to be our good. And that's, of course, what does this mean? And it means very different things if according to different ideologies. So if you are a liberal, you will find that society is constituted for individual freedom and rights. Whereas communitarians believe, for instance, that being in a community of relationships and solidarity with other human beings is itself the common good. And as I think we will discuss later, just pick socialism here as well. Here, social equality is seen to be the core.
Very good. So here's the common good. It's already looking very complicated. Christian, I'm looking forward to your answer to this. And before we go, my final slide is this one. Anyone who's interested in learning more, but quickly, about the economy of the common good and actually any other paradigms that we will investigate on this call, here's the website. You will find lots of resources on the website, pre-reading summaries, further kind of interesting critiques or enhancements of what we talk about. So please have a look at the website to make sure that you're fully prepared for the next editions. And Case, over to you.